The cargo ship Soul's Pride moved slowly through the dark space near Kepler 442b trading station. Captain Lee Dong-woo sat in his chair on the bridge, watching the stars through the big window. He had been flying cargo ships for 20 years. This trip should have been easy and safe. "Captain, we have the quantum crystals loaded and ready," said Dr. Park Min-ho over the ship's communication system. The scientist was checking the special cargo one more time. These crystals were worth more money than most people would see in their whole lives. They were also very important. A human colony was sick with a bad disease, and these crystals would help make medicine to save them. Engineer Kim So-ra looked up from her control panel. "All systems are working fine, Captain. We can jump to hyperspace whenever you want." Lee nodded. "Good. Let's get these crystals to New Sol Colony as fast as we can. People are waiting for them." The ship began to turn toward the jump point. Lee felt good about this mission. Helping sick people was always the right thing to do. He did not know that other eyes were watching his ship. Far away, hidden behind a large asteroid, 3 Vorthak warships waited in the darkness. The Vorthak were tall aliens with gray skin and 4 arms. They thought they were better and smarter than all other races in the galaxy. Their leader, Commander Thekamora, stood on the bridge of his ship. His yellow eyes watched the human cargo ship on his screen. "Such a small ship," Thekamora said to his crew. His voice was cold and mean. "These humans are so weak. They send one tiny ship to carry such valuable cargo. They make it too easy for us." His second officer, Rektar, showed his sharp teeth in what might be called a smile. "Should we attack now, Commander?" "Not yet," Thekamora said. "Let them get away from the trading station. We don't want witnesses. When they are alone in space, we will take what we want." The Vorthak had been watching human trade ships for weeks. They knew that humans carried valuable things, but did not have strong weapons to protect them. The aliens thought humans were cowards, who only cared about making money. They did not understand that humans traded with everyone because they wanted peace. Soul's Pride moved further into empty space. Lee checked his navigation computer. "We'll jump to hyperspace in 10 minutes, he told his crew. "So-ra, make sure the engines are ready." "Yes, Captain," Kim So-ra replied. She was one of the best engineers in the human fleet. She could fix almost any problem with a ship, but she also knew how to fight if needed. Dr. Park Min-ho came to the bridge. He was a thin man with kind eyes. "Captain, I've been thinking about the colony. The sickness is spreading fast. These crystals might be the only thing that can save those people." Lee looked at the doctor. "Don't worry. We'll get there in time." Suddenly, Kim So-ra's computers started making loud warning sounds. "Captain, 3 ships just appeared on our sensors. They're coming fast." Lee jumped up from his chair. "Where did they come from?" "They were hiding behind that asteroid," So-ra said. Her fingers moved quickly over her controls. "They're Vorthak ships. Big ones." Lee's face became serious. The Vorthak were known for being mean and taking things that didn't belong to them. "Can we jump to hyperspace now?" "Not yet," So-ra said. "The engines need 3 more minutes to charge." "We don't have 3 minutes," Lee said. The enemy ships were getting closer very fast. Commander Thekamora smiled as his ships surrounded the human cargo vessel. "Send them a message," he told his crew. "Tell them to stop their engines and prepare to be boarded." The message came to Soul's Pride in the alien language, but the ship's computer translated it to Korean. Lee listened and then shook his head. "Tell them no. We have important medical supplies. People will die if we don't deliver them. Thekamora laughed when he heard the humans' reply. Medical supplies? They think we care about sick humans? Fire a warning shot across their front. One of the Vorthak ships shot a bright beam of energy just in front of Soul's Pride. The human ship shook a little. Captain, Kim So-Ra said, their weapons are much stronger than ours. If they want to destroy us, they can, Lee thought quickly. His ship had some weapons, but not enough to fight 3 warships. He had to protect his crew and the medicine. Dr. Park, go to the cargo bay and hide the most important crystals. Sora, send out a distress signal. Sir, who will get the signal out here? Sora asked. Just send it, Lee said. Use the emergency frequency. Make sure it has our location. And what happened to us? Kim So-Ra's fingers moved over her controls. She sent out a special coded message that only other humans would understand. The message went out into space, traveling faster than light toward human colonies. The Vorthak ships moved closer. Thekamora was getting impatient. They're not stopping. Disable their engines! The alien ships fired again. This time, their weapons hit Soul's Pride. The human ship shook hard. Lights went out on some decks. The engines stopped working. Hull damage on Deck 3, Kim So-Ra reported. Engines are offline. We can't run. Lee sat back in his chair. He had done what he could. The distress signal was sent. Now he had to keep his crew alive. All hands prepare to be boarded. Do not fight them. We'll find another way. Thekamora was very happy. Board their ship. Take everything valuable. Leave the humans alive, but take their ship. We can sell it later. The Vorthak soldiers moved from their ships to Soul's Pride. They were big and strong, with advanced weapons. The human crew could not fight them. Soon, Thekamora himself came aboard the human ship. He walked to the bridge where Lee and his crew waited. The alien commander looked around and laughed. So small and weak, Thekamora said in broken human language. You humans are like children playing with adult toys. You should not fly in space if you cannot protect yourselves. Lee looked at the alien commander. Those crystals are medicine. People will die without them. Not my problem, Thekamora said. In this galaxy, the strong take from the weak. That is the way things work. Dr. Park Min-ho stepped forward. Please, Commander, at least let us keep some crystals, just enough to help the sickest people. Thekamora pushed the doctor back. You take nothing. We take everything. Maybe this will teach humans not to carry valuable things in such weak ships. The Vorthak soldiers loaded all the quantum crystals onto their ships. They also took the ship's computers and anything else that was worth money. When they were done, they left. The humans on their damaged ship. Remember this day, Thekamora said before leaving. Remember that humans are too weak to protect what they own. After the aliens left, Lee and his crew sat in the dark, broken ship. They had emergency power, but not much else. Captain, Kim So-Ra said quietly, I sent the distress signal before. They jammed our communications. If anyone received it? Lee nodded. Good work, So-Ra. Now we wait. Dr. Park looked very sad. All those people on New Soul Colony. Without the medicine? Don't give up hope yet, Lee said. There are things about humans that these aliens don't understand. Far away, the distress signal traveled through space, reaching human colonies and ships. Soon, many people would know what happened to Soul's Pride. The Vorthak thought they had won an easy victory. They did not know they had just made the biggest mistake of their lives. The distress signal from Soul's Pride reached the Terran Colonial Defense Network station on Mars 3 hours after the attack. The officer on duty, Lieutenant Bei Junseo, was drinking coffee when his computer made a sound he had never heard before. It was the emergency signal that meant a human trader was in serious trouble. Junseo read the message and his face became very serious. He picked up his phone and called his commander right away. "Sir, we have a code red distress signal. A cargo ship carrying medical supplies was attacked by Vorthak raiders near Kepler 442b. Within minutes, the message was sent to Admiral Cho Jae-sung, commander of the 7th Fleet. The admiral was a smart man who had fought in many battles. He knew that attacking human traders was not just stealing money. It was attacking the way humans lived in space. Admiral Cho called a meeting with his top officers. They met in a big room with star maps on the walls. The admiral stood at the front and spoke to everyone. The cargo ship Seoul's Pride was attacked 6 hours ago. The Vorthak syndicate took everything, including medical supplies meant for New Seoul Colony. Captain Lee Dong-woo and his crew are alive, but their ship is badly damaged. Commander Na Yoon-ji, the admiral's tactical officer, asked, "Sir, do we know how many Vorthak ships were involved?" "3 warships," the admiral replied. "But this is not about one attack. The Vorthak have been getting bolder. They think humans are easy targets because we prefer to trade rather than fight." Major Kang Do-hyun, leader of the Special Forces, stood up. "Admiral, my teams are ready to move. Just give us the target." Admiral Cho looked at the star map. "It's not that simple, Major. We need to find them first. But more importantly, we need to send a message that will be remembered for a long time." At the same time, the news about the attack was spreading through human space. Director Yoon Hai-won of Human Intelligence Services was in her office when she got the report. She was a woman who knew everything that happened in the galaxy. She had spies and friends on many worlds. Director Yoon called her best agents. "I want to know everything about the Vorthak Syndicate, where they hide, how many ships they have, who helps them, and where they sell stolen goods. I want this information in 24 hours. On the trading station at Alpha Centauri, Captain Lim Ji-hoon was loading supplies onto his ship when he heard the news. His ship, Silent Thunder, was not like other cargo ships. It looked normal, but it had special engines and weapons hidden inside. Captain Lim was part of a secret group of traders who could fight when needed. Lim called his crew together. "Pack everything. We're going hunting." His tech specialist, Bang Ye-jin, asked, "Do we have orders from command?" "We don't need orders for this," Lim said. "A trader was attacked. That means all traders are in danger. We protect our own." The news reached every human colony and station. On New Seoul Colony, where people were sick and waiting for medicine, Governor Han Soo-jin was very angry. She sent messages to every human leader she knew. "The Vorthak have killed our people," she wrote. "They stole the medicine that could save hundreds of lives. This cannot be forgiven." Dr. Park Min-ho's family lived on Luna Colony. When they heard that his ship was attacked, they were very worried. But they were also angry. Dr. Park's brother, Park Jae-won, was a captain in the Colonial Marines. He requested permission to join any mission against the Vorthak. The most important meeting happened on Earth, in the big building where human leaders made decisions. President Kim Da-eun called together representatives from all human colonies and corporations. "We have a choice," the president said. "We can let this attack go and hope it doesn't happen again. Or we can show the galaxy why there is an old rule: never steal from humans." Representative Lee Young-soo from the outer colonies spoke first. "Madam President, if we don't respond strongly, other alien criminals will think we are weak. They will attack more of our ships." The representative from the big trading companies agreed. Our entire economy depends on safe trade routes. If traders are afraid to carry valuable cargo, our whole civilization will suffer. But not everyone wanted war. Representative Oh Min-jung from the Peace Coalition said, "Violence will only create more violence. Maybe we can negotiate with the Vorthak." President Kim shook her head. The Vorthak took medicine from sick people. They showed no mercy. Why should we show them any? In the end, all the human leaders agreed. The attack on Seoul's pride was not just an attack on one ship. It was an attack on all humans everywhere. While the humans were meeting, strange things started happening in space. Vorthak patrol ships reported that their supply convoys were late. Communications with some of their bases stopped working. Ships that were supposed to meet them never arrived. Commander Thekmora was enjoying his success on the Vorthak base, in the Kalos Nebula. The stolen quantum crystals were worth enough money to buy 10 warships. He was planning his next attack on human traders. But his second officer, Rektar, brought him bad news. "Commander, we have lost contact with 3 of our patrol ships. They were supposed to report in 6 hours ago." Thekmora was not worried. "Maybe they found another target to rob. They will report when they return." "Sir, there's more," Rektar said. "The arms dealer on Rigel Station says he can't sell us weapons anymore. He won't say why." Now Thekmora was a little concerned. "Contact our other suppliers. We need ammunition and spare parts." But one by one, all the alien merchants who usually sold things to the Vorthak said they were too busy. Some just stopped answering their communications completely. On the planet Zerion Prime, an old alien trader named Vexalar was talking to his son. Vexalar had been trading for 100 years. He knew many secrets about the galaxy. "Father," his son said, "why won't you sell fuel to the Vorthak anymore? They pay good money." Vexalar looked at his son like he was very stupid. "Because they stole from humans, you fool. Don't you know the old rule?" "What rule?" "Never steal." "From humans," Vexalar said. "Everyone in the galaxy knows this rule. Everyone except stupid young aliens like the Vorthak." "Why? Humans don't seem very dangerous." Vexalar laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. "That's what everyone thinks until they make humans angry. I saw what happened to the Krex Empire 50 years ago. They attacked one human colony. The humans destroyed their entire fleet and took over 6 of their worlds. But that was war." "No," Vexalar said. "War is when 2 armies fight each other. What humans do is different. They don't just fight. They make sure the problem never happens again." Similar conversations were happening on many worlds. Older aliens who remembered other times when someone attacked humans were telling younger aliens to stay away from the Vorthak. Back on Earth, Admiral Cho was reading reports from his intelligence officers. Human spies were everywhere in the galaxy. They had been trading and making friends for hundreds of years. Now all those friends were helping. "Sir," said Intelligence Officer Song Hyo-jin, "we have located the main Vorthak base. It's hidden in the Kalos Nebula, protected by a fleet of 20 warships." "What about their supply lines?" the Admiral asked. "We've already cut most of them. Our trader friends are refusing to sell to them. The ones who won't cooperate are having accidents with their ships." Major Kang Do-hyun smiled. "How many Vorthak patrol ships have we eliminated?" 12 so far, Song replied. "We're using the stealth ships. The Vorthak think their patrols are just disappearing." Admiral Cho studied the star maps. "Good work. Keep cutting their supplies and eliminating their scouts. Soon they will be isolated and weak." "Admiral," Commander Na asked. "When do we attack their main base?" "When we're ready," the Admiral said. "Humans don't fight like other species. We don't just attack with our strongest force and hope for the best. We plan everything carefully. We make sure we will win before we start fighting." On the damaged ship Soul's Pride, Captain Lee and his crew were still waiting for rescue. They had used their emergency radio to contact the trading station and help was coming. But Lee knew that something bigger was happening. "Captain, Kim," Sora said. "I'm picking up a lot of military traffic on the radio. It sounds like the whole human fleet is moving." Dr. Park looked hopeful. "Do you think they'll catch the aliens who attacked us?" Lee nodded slowly. "Oh, they'll catch them. The Vorthak made a big mistake. They thought humans were weak because we prefer peace. They don't understand that choosing peace is not the same as being unable to fight." "What do you mean?" Dr. Park asked. "I mean," Lee said, "that the Vorthak are about to learn why there's an old rule in this galaxy. A rule that says you should never, ever steal from humans." Commander Thekmora stood in his private room on the Vorthak base, looking at the stolen quantum crystals. Each crystal was beautiful and worth more money than most beings would see in their lifetime. He felt very proud of himself for taking them from the weak humans. The base was hidden deep inside the Kalos Nebula, where the gas clouds made it hard for enemy ships to find them. 20 Vorthak warships protected the base. Thekmora thought he was completely safe, but he was starting to feel worried. 3 more patrol ships had not returned. Supply ships were late. And strangest of all, other alien species in the area were acting very strange around the Vorthak. Yesterday, when Thekmora tried to buy fuel from a Rigelian trader, the alien had looked at him with fear in his eyes and said, "I cannot help you anymore. Find someone else." Then the trader had left very quickly. Thekmora called his officers to a meeting. The room was full of tall, gray-skinned Vorthak with 4 arms and yellow eyes. They all looked confident, but Thekmora could see that some of them were nervous. "Report on our patrol ships," Thekmora ordered. Captain Zethkar spoke first. "Sir, we have lost contact with 8 patrol ships in the last 4 days. They were checking different trade routes for more human ships to attack. Could they have found good targets and gone far away to hunt?" Thekmora asked. "Maybe," Zethkar said, but he didn't sound sure. "But they should have reported in by now." Officer Nektol raised one of his 4 hands. "Commander, there's something else. I sent a message to our weapons supplier on Vega Station. He said he won't sell to us anymore. When I asked why, he just cut off communication." Thekmora felt angry. "These aliens are forgetting who they're dealing with. Send a warship to Vega Station. Remind them that we can take what we want." But when the warship arrived at Vega Station 3 days later, they found it empty. All the traders had left. The station was almost completely abandoned. Far away from the Vorthak base, Captain Lim Ji-hoon was preparing his ship Silent Thunder for another mission. His ship looked like a normal cargo vessel, but hidden inside were weapons and special equipment that could fool enemy sensors. "Yejin," he called to his tech specialist. "Do you have the Vorthak patrol route?" Bang Yejin looked at her computer screen. "Yes, Captain. There's a patrol ship that passes through the Deneb system every 2 days. It should be there in 6 hours." "Perfect," Lim said. "Sergeant O, are your explosives ready?" Sergeant O Tae-min smiled and patted a metal box beside him. "Ready, sir. These will make their ship look like it hit a space mine." "Good. We want them to think it was an accident. The fewer questions they ask, the better." Silent Thunder moved through space like a ghost. Its special engines made almost no sound that enemy sensors could detect. This was not the first Vorthak patrol ship they had hunted. In the past week, Lim's team had destroyed 4 enemy vessels without anyone knowing how. When they reached the Deneb system, they found the perfect place to wait. A field of asteroids gave them cover while they watched for the Vorthak patrol. "Ship! Contact on sensors," Bang Yejin reported. "One Vorthak cruiser coming this way." "Wait until it passes the big asteroid," Lim ordered. "Then we attack." The Vorthak ship moved slowly through the asteroid field. The aliens inside had no idea that death was waiting for them. They thought they were safe because they were strong and had good weapons. "Now," Lim whispered. Silent thunder came out of hiding like a hunting animal. Its weapons fired special missiles that hit the Vorthak ship in exactly the right places. The enemy ship exploded, but it looked like the explosion came from inside, like a reactor accident. "Target destroyed," O reported. "No survivors." "Good," Lim said. "Send a message to command. Tell them that's Patrol Route 7 cleared. What's our next target?" While Lim's team was hunting patrol ships, other human forces were working in different ways. Major Kang Do-hyun was leading a special mission on the planet Zerion Prime. The planet was home to many different alien species who traded with everyone, including criminals like the Vorthak. Major Kang's job was to make sure these traders stopped helping the Vorthak. Kang and his team wore normal clothes, so they looked like traders, not soldiers. They met with Vexillar, the old alien trader who knew everyone in the local area. "We need your help," Kang said in the alien's language. Vexillar looked nervous. "I already told everyone not to trade with the Vorthak. Word is spreading that they stole from humans." "That's good," Kang said. "But we need more than just refusing to trade. We need information." "What kind of information?" "Supply routes, communication codes, anything that will help us find all the Vorthak ships and bases." Vexillar thought for a moment. "If I help you, the Vorthak might try to hurt me." Kang smiled, but his smile was not friendly. "If you don't help us, we might be very disappointed. And disappointed humans can be much more dangerous than angry Vorthak." The alien trader understood. He gave Kang everything he knew about Vorthak, operations in the area. Similar meetings were happening on dozens of worlds. Humans had been trading peacefully for centuries, making friends and building relationships. Now all those relationships were paying off. Aliens who had done business with humans for years were happy to help them fight the Vorthak. Back on the Vorthak base, Thekamora was getting more and more worried. Half of his patrol ships were missing, supply ships were not coming, and now his communications officer brought him the worst news yet. "Commander," the officer said, "I've been listening to radio signals from other alien groups in this sector. They're all talking about the same thing." "What thing?" Thekamora demanded. "They're saying that we made a big mistake when we attacked that human ship. They're saying that humans are coming for us." Thekamora laughed, but the laugh sounded forced. "Humans? Those weak traitors? What can they do to us?" The communications officer looked very nervous. "Sir, some of the older aliens are telling stories about what humans did to other groups who attacked them. They say humans don't just fight back. They completely destroy their enemies." "Stories," Thekamora said. "Just stories to scare children." But privately, he was starting to wonder. Why were so many patrol ships missing? Why had all their suppliers suddenly stopped working with them? And why were other aliens acting so afraid? Captain Zethkar brought more bad news. "Commander, our spy, ship near the Terran border reports massive human fleet movements. They say the humans are gathering warships from all over their territory. How many ships? Thekamora asked. The spy ship couldn't get close enough to count them all, but he said there were hundreds. Thekamora felt cold fear in his stomach, for the first time in many years. Hundreds? That's impossible. Why would they send so many ships just to chase us? Maybe, said Officer Nektal quietly, because we stole medicine that was meant to save sick people. Everyone in the room turned to look at him. Nektal continued, I've been thinking about what that human captain said. Those crystals weren't just valuable. They were medicine for a colony where people are dying. So what? Thekamora snapped. Weak species die. That's how the galaxy works. But humans don't think like that, Nektal said. My cousin trades in human space sometimes. He says humans care about all humans, even ones they've never met. If we took medicine from sick humans, then every human in the galaxy will see us as murderers. The room became very quiet. The Vorthak were starting to understand that they might have made a terrible mistake. What do we do, Commander? Zethkar asked. Thekamora tried to sound confident. We fight. We have 20 good warships and a strong base. Even if the humans come, we can defeat them. But even as he said it, Thekamora didn't believe his own words. Deep inside, he was beginning to understand what other aliens already knew. There was a rule in the galaxy, an old rule that smart aliens followed. Never steal from humans, and the Vorthak had broken that rule. Outside the nebula, human ships were gathering in the darkness. Admiral Cho's fleet was almost ready. Soon, the Vorthak would learn why the rule existed. Soon, they would understand that humans might prefer peace, but they were very, very good at war. The hunt was almost over. The Vorthak just didn't know it yet. Admiral Cho Jae-sung stood on the bridge of his flagship, Incheon's Fury, watching the stars through the big window. Around his ship, the largest human fleet in 50 years was preparing for battle. 200 warships hung in space like sleeping giants, waiting for his command. Admiral, said Commander Na Yun-ji, all fleet groups report ready for attack. The Vorthak base is surrounded. Admiral Cho looked at the tactical display. His ships had approached the Kalos Nebula from 6 different directions. The Vorthak thought they were safe in their hidden base, but they were wrong. Human intelligence had found them weeks ago. What about Major Kang's special forces? The Admiral asked. Already in position inside the nebula, Na replied. They've been waiting for 3 days. Admiral Cho nodded. This was how humans fought wars. Not with wild attacks or angry charging, but with careful planning and perfect timing. Every ship knew its job, every captain understood the plan. Signal all ships, the Admiral ordered. Begin Operation Payback. Deep inside the Kalos Nebula, Major Kang Do-hyun and his Special Forces team crept through the dark corridors of a Vorthak communication station. They had been hiding on the small base for 3 days, waiting for the attack to begin. Kang looked at his watch. In 30 seconds, the main attack would start. His job was to make sure the Vorthak couldn't call for help from other criminal groups in the area. Ready? He whispered to his team. Sergeant Shin Woo-jin nodded and pointed to the explosive charges they had placed around the communication equipment. Corporal Park Hee-sun had her finger on the button that would jam all Vorthak radio signals. Now, Kang said. The explosives went off with a loud bang. All the communication equipment was destroyed. At the same time, Park pressed her button and powerful jamming signals filled the air. The Vorthak base was now cut off from the outside galaxy. On the main Vorthak base, Commander Thekamora was eating his morning meal when the alarm started screaming. He ran to the command center where his officers were running around in panic. "What's happening?" he shouted. "Ships!" yelled Captain Zethkar. "Human ships everywhere! They came out of the nebula gas clouds from all directions!" Thekamora looked at the tactical screen and felt his blood turn cold. Dozens of human warships were racing toward his base. More ships were appearing every second as they came out of hiding in the gas clouds. "How many?" he asked. "We're still counting," Zethkar said. "At least 50, maybe more." 50 ships to attack us? That's impossible. We only stole from one cargo ship. Officer Nektoll, who had been quiet during the past few days, spoke up. "I tried to warn you, Commander. Humans don't think like we do. They see an attack on one human as an attack on all humans." Before Thekamora could reply, more alarms started ringing. "Sir!" shouted the weapons officer. "Human ships are attacking our outer defense platforms." On his ship Soul's Revenge, Captain Ryu Sung-min led a squadron of human fighters toward the Vorthak defense stations. His ship was fast and deadly, built specifically for attacking enemy bases. "Target the weapon systems first," he told his pilots over the radio. "We want to take away their teeth before we go for the throat." The human fighters moved like a school of fish, all turning and attacking together. Their weapons were more advanced than anything the Vorthak had. Within minutes, half of the enemy defense platforms were destroyed or disabled. "This is easy," said Lieutenant Kim Tae-ho, one of Ryu's pilots. "These aliens fight like they're still using old technology." "Don't get overconfident," Ryu warned. "Stay focused on the mission." But Kim was right. The Vorthak weapons were powerful, but they were slow and clumsy compared to human technology. The aliens had spent their time stealing from peaceful traders, instead of improving their military equipment. Back on the Vorthak base, Thekamora was discovering just how outmatched his forces were. His 20 warships were trying to fight off more than 100 human vessels, and they were losing badly. "Commander," Zethkar reported, "we've lost 8 ships already. The humans are using some kind of new weapon that goes right through our shields." Thekamora watched in horror as another of his ships exploded on the tactical screen. "What about our secret weapon? The gravity minefield?" "The humans somehow knew about it," Zethkar said. "They sent small ships ahead to clear the mines before their main fleet arrived." Thekamora realized that the humans had been planning this attack for weeks. They knew everything about his base, his ships, and his defenses. Somehow they had spies everywhere. What he didn't know was that Captain Lim Ji-hoon and his crew on Silent Thunder had been mapping the Vorthak defenses for days. Their ship's special sensors could see through the nebula gas and detect hidden weapons. All that information had been sent to Admiral Cho's fleet. "Sir," Bang Ye-jin reported from her sensor station, "the main human fleet is breaking through the outer defenses. ETA to the base is 20 minutes. Captain Lim smiled. "Good. Signal Major Kang. Tell him to start Phase 2. Inside the Vorthak base, Major Kang received the signal. "Time to move," he told his team. "Shin, blow the power station. Park, take out their computer center. I'll handle the hangar bays." The Special Forces team split up and ran through the base corridors. They had studied the base plans for weeks and knew exactly where to go. Behind them, confused Vorthak soldiers tried to figure out what was happening. Sergeant Shin reached the power station and placed his explosives carefully. When they went off, half the base lost electricity. Emergency. Lights came on, but many systems stopped working. Corporal Park reached the computer center and planted a virus in their main computer. Within minutes, the Vorthak lost control of their automated defenses and communication systems. Major Kang reached the hangar bay where the Vorthak kept their small fighter ships. He destroyed the fuel lines and ammunition storage. Even if any Vorthak pilots could reach their ships, they wouldn't be able to fight. On the command deck, Thekamora was now completely panicked. Our own base is falling apart. How are they doing this? There must be human soldiers inside the base, Nektol said. They've been planning this for a long time. How long have they been watching us? Thekamora asked. Probably since the moment. We attacked their cargo ship, Nektol replied. I told you humans were different. They don't just react, they plan everything. Outside the base, Admiral Cho's fleet had destroyed most of the Vorthak warships. The few enemy ships that were still working were trying to run away, but human pursuit ships were hunting them down. Admiral, Commander Na reported, the base defenses are down. Major Kang reports that the base is ready for boarding. Good, Admiral Cho said. Send in the marine assault ships. I want Thekamora alive to face trial. The human marine ships were heavily armored and filled with soldiers. They landed on the Vorthak base like giant metal insects. Hundreds of human marines poured out and began taking control of the base section by section. The Vorthak soldiers tried to fight, but they were confused and disorganized. Their commanders were dead or missing. Their weapon systems weren't working. Many of them simply surrendered when they saw the disciplined human soldiers advancing toward them. Captain Lee Dongwu, who had been rescued from his damaged ship, was allowed to join the assault force. He wanted to see the aliens who had attacked, his crew and stolen medicine from sick people. There, Major Kang pointed down a corridor. The command center is that way. Thekamora should be inside. Lee followed the Marines as they advanced. Soon they reached the heavy doors of the command center. The Marines used special tools to cut through the metal doors. Inside, they found Thekamora and his remaining officers. The alien commander looked very different now. His confident expression was gone. He looked scared and confused. Commander Thekamora, Major Kang said in the alien's language, "You are under arrest for piracy, theft, and endangering human lives." Thekamora looked around at all the human soldiers pointing weapons at him. "This is impossible," he said. "We only attacked one small ship. Why did you bring an entire fleet?" Captain Lee stepped forward. "Because that small ship was carrying medicine to save people's lives. Because you attacked innocent traders who were trying to help others. And because there's a rule in this galaxy that you broke." "What rule?" Thekamora asked. Lee looked at the alien commander with cold eyes. "Never steal from humans." As the Marines led Thekamora away, he finally understood what all the other aliens in the galaxy already knew. Humans might prefer peace and trade, but when someone threatened their people or their way of life, they became the most dangerous enemies in the galaxy. The battle was over. The Vorthak Syndicate was destroyed. And the old rule was proven once again. 3 days after the battle, Commander Thekamora sat in a prison cell aboard Admiral Cho's flagship. The cell was clean and comfortable, much better than what the Vorthak gave to their prisoners. But Thekamora didn't care about comfort. He was trying to understand what had happened to his syndicate. The door to his cell opened. Admiral Cho walked in, followed by Captain Lee Dongwu and Dr. Park Min-ho. Thekamora looked up at the humans with confused yellow eyes. "I want to understand," Thekamora said in broken human language. "Why did you destroy everything? We only took cargo from one ship." Admiral Cho sat down across from the alien. "That's exactly why we're here, to help you understand. My people are traders," Captain Lee said. "For hundreds of years, we have traveled between the stars, bringing goods and supplies to colonies that need them. We build hospitals, schools, and farms on distant worlds. Everything we do depends on trade ships being safe. Dr. Park held up a small crystal, one of the few that had been recovered from the Vorthak base. This crystal could have made medicine for 50 people. Because you stole our cargo, 23 people on New Sol Colony died while waiting for treatment. Thekamura's 4 arms moved nervously. But they were just sick humans. Why do you care so much about strangers? Because they're not strangers, Lee said. Every human colony, every trading ship, every family on every world is part of something bigger. When you attack one of us, you attack all of us. Admiral Cho pulled out a tablet computer and showed Thekamura some pictures. Do you see these images? This is what happened to your syndicate. 24 ships destroyed, 3 bases captured, all your supply lines cut, over 400 of your people in prison. It took us 1 week to completely eliminate your organization. The Admiral continued. Do you know how we did it so quickly? Thekamura shook his head. Because humans have been building relationships in this galaxy for centuries. Every alien trader who ever did business with humans, every species that ever received help from human doctors or engineers, every world that ever traded peacefully with human colonies, they all helped us find you. Dr. Park nodded. The old alien trader on Zerion Prime who gave us your supply routes? We saved his daughter's life when she was sick with star fever. The Rigelian who told us about your hidden bases? We helped his people rebuild after their civil war. You see, Captain Lee explained, humans don't just take from others. We give, we help, we build friendships that last for generations. When someone threatens our way of life, all those friends help us. Thekamura was beginning to understand, but he was still confused about one thing. But why did you send such a huge fleet? You could have destroyed us with 20 ships. Why bring 200? Admiral Cho's expression became very serious. Because this wasn't just about catching you. It was about sending a message to every criminal in the galaxy. We wanted everyone to see what happens when someone steals from humans. You humans are supposed to be peaceful, Thekamura said. Everyone says you prefer trade to war. That's true, Lee said. We do prefer peace. But choosing peace doesn't mean we can't fight. It means we're smart enough to know when fighting is necessary. When we fight, Admiral Cho added, we don't just try to win the battle. We try to make sure the problem never happens again. Just then, Major Kang entered the cell. Admiral, we've finished questioning the other prisoners. They've given us information about 12 other criminal groups that were planning to attack human traders. Good, the Admiral said. Send that information to all human intelligence stations. Make sure those criminals know we're watching them. Thekamura looked shocked. You're going after other groups too? If they threaten human lives, yes, Major Kang said. The word is already spreading through the criminal underground. Most of them are deciding that attacking human ships is too dangerous. Dr. Park leaned forward. Thekamura, I want you to understand something important. Those people who died on New Sol Colony weren't just numbers to us. They had families, friends, dreams for the future. When you stole our medicine, you stole their lives. But we didn't know, Thekamura started to say. You didn't care, Captain Lee interrupted. You saw valuable cargo and you took it. You never asked what it was for or who needed it. That's the difference between humans and criminals like you. We think about how our actions affect others. Admiral Cho stood up. Your trial will be held on Kepler Station in 1 week. You'll be judged by representatives from 12 different species, including some who have been victims of your crimes. What will happen to me? Thekmora asked. That depends on the judges, the Admiral replied. But I can tell you this. Humans believe in justice, not revenge. You'll get a fair trial. As the humans prepared to leave, Thekmora called out, Wait, I want to know, if we had attacked traders from any other species, would they have responded like this? Captain Lee turned back. No. Most species would have been angry, but they would have given up after a few weeks. Maybe they would have increased patrols or hired more guards, but they wouldn't have hunted you down and destroyed your entire organization. Why are humans different? Because, Lee said, humans understand that our civilization depends on trust. If traders can't travel safely, colonies can't get supplies. If colonies can't get supplies, people die. We protect our traders because we're protecting our entire way of life. After the humans left, Thekmora sat alone in his cell, thinking about everything they had told him. For the first time, he began to understand why there was an old rule in the galaxy. Never steal from humans. Meanwhile, on many worlds across the galaxy, aliens were having similar conversations. In bars and trading posts, older aliens were telling younger ones about what had happened to the Vorthak Syndicate. On Rigel Prime, an old Centaurian merchant named Torval was talking to his nephew. Remember this story, he said. Humans may look weak and peaceful, but they're the most dangerous species in the galaxy when you make them angry. How can they be dangerous if they're peaceful? His nephew asked. Because, Torval explained, most species fight with their emotions. When they're angry, they attack quickly and without thinking. But humans fight with their minds. They plan everything. They make sure they know everything about their enemy before they attack. And when they do attack, they don't stop until the threat is completely eliminated. On another world, a young Vegan pirate was asking his captain why they never attacked human ships. Because it's not worth it, the captain said. Sure, human ships sometimes carry valuable cargo, but if you attack one human ship, you'll have the entire human fleet hunting you. And they won't just destroy your ship, they'll find your base, capture your friends, and make sure everyone knows what happened to you. But humans are just one species, the young pirate said. There are many species in the galaxy. The captain laughed. Yes, but humans are the only species that every other species likes and trusts. When humans ask for help, everyone helps them. When humans ask for information, everyone tells them what they know. That makes them more powerful than any empire in the galaxy. Back on Admiral Cho's flagship, the human officers were preparing to return home. The mission was complete. The Vorthak Syndicate was destroyed. Their stolen goods were recovered, and a message had been sent to every criminal organization in the galaxy. Admiral, Commander Na said, we've received reports from intelligence stations across human space. Criminal attacks on our traders have dropped by 90% in the past week. Good, Admiral Cho replied. Maybe this will give us a few years of peace. Sir? Asked Captain Ryu. Do you think the criminals will eventually forget this lesson and try attacking us again? Admiral Cho smiled. Some of them will. Young criminals who think they're smarter than everyone else. But when they do, we'll remind them why the rule exists. Captain Lee was finally able to return to his repaired ship, Soul's Pride. As he walked through the corridors, he thought about the quantum crystals that had been recovered from the Vorthak base. They would still reach New Sol Colony, just a few weeks late. Some people had died waiting for the medicine, but many more would be saved. Dr. Park joined him on the bridge. "Captain, I've been thinking about what we told Thekmora. Do you really think he understood?" "I think so," Lee said. "But understanding and agreeing are different things. The important thing is that other aliens understand. The rule isn't really for criminals like Thekmora. It's for the smart aliens who know better than to test human patience." Engineer Kim So-ra looked up from her control panel. "Captain, we're getting a lot of messages from other trading ships. They want to thank us for what happened to the Vorthak." "Why are they thanking us?" Lee asked. "We didn't do anything except get robbed." "Because," So-ra said, "our distress signal started everything. If we hadn't sent that message, the Vorthak might have kept attacking traders for years." Lee nodded. That was how humans worked. One person's call for help could mobilize an entire civilization. Everyone looked out for everyone else, because they all understood that they were stronger together than apart. As Soul's Pride prepared to continue its journey, Lee looked out at the stars and felt proud of his species. Humans had chosen to be traders and explorers instead of conquerors. They had chosen to build relationships instead of empires.